Hi and welcome to SCW, the wrestling channel here on YouTube.com. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video. Please subscribe right now. Leave any comments in the comment section. Please like and share the video as well. Talking Impact Wrestling, your Impact video of the week. Going to talk some brief discussion from the show last night as well. Give some predictions going into the Emergence shows that will be starting next week. Be for the next 2 weeks. So we've got a series of matches that we'll be going through. But first off, brief recap of last night's show of Impact Wrestling. I thought it was quite good on the whole, quite enjoyed it. I enjoyed the opener in particular, Eric Young picking up a victory against Willie Mack. Felt very personal. Willie, of course, wanting revenge for Rich Swann and the actions that were taking place on him last week after the retirement segment, of course, where Eric Young attacked him with a crutch on the top of the staging area at the end of last week. So, good match between these two. It started in the back, so we wasn't really meant to have it as the opener of the show. Worked its way towards the ring. Eric Young wanted things on his time. Willie Mack was having none of it. His time was now. But maybe it wasn't. He didn't pick up the victory. Eric Young with a devastating pile driver, which Scott D'Amore actually said maybe the best pile driver in wrestling. Sami Callihan doesn't seem too pleased, especially after winning a world title with one. But good match. And of course, Eric Young was having some words for Eddie Edwards at the end of the match. I really hope that they're going to actually delay this match because Eddie Edwards is set to defend his title in the second week of Emergence. I hope they save this match for Bound for Glory. I think there's still some more, legwork that can go into this feud. Really make it even more personal going into the Bound for Glory pay-per-view. I think that that would be the right move if it was me booking personally. But as we mentioned, Eddie Edwards, he closed off the show defending the championship as he's doing currently every single week. I will give a minor critique. I do think that this is better suited for the mid-card championships that you see in other promotions. I do think that with the World Championship, it's not something that should be treated as a hot potato, and perhaps someone that debuts shouldn't necessarily get that shot. But I did like the excitement factor. Brian Myers coming, getting his debut opportunity at the World Championship, but he didn't come out as victorious as as would probably be expected. Really, I don't think it would have been the right move at all to give him the championship. Eddie Edwards is a solid hand. He's Mr. Dependable, Mr. Impact Wrestling right now, and it's building towards Eddie and Eric Young. The question is when and where. I really want to give a shout out to the women on this show. I thought that they did a good job. I think Jordynne, Grace, and Kimberly had a solid match. I love the fact we're now building towards a Knockouts 30-minute Iron Woman match in 2 weeks, the second week of Emergence. Deonna, Purrazzo will be taking on Jordynne Grace for the Knockouts Championship in a rematch from Slammiversary. And if you've been following this channel, you'll know that was my favourite match of that show. So I'm buzzing for a 30-minute Iron Woman match or Iron Man match there for the Knockouts. I will give my prediction note later in the video, so do stick around for that. Other matches were built though throughout the show, and of course as well hyped up as well. Good video package with the North and the Motor City Machine Guns. We know that we've got Ace Austin and Madman Fulton going to take on the Good Brothers. I like the way that was put together. Very interesting how the X Division Championship has been put together with Chris Bay was going to be taking on TJP, and Raju has talked himself into the match. Chris Bay seems confident. I think he's been duped here, but I do think Chris Bay probably will maybe escape this, but I'll give a prediction, as I say, properly in a couple of moments. If we look elsewhere in the show, Moose thought he was giving Suicide another shot at the TNA Heavyweight Championship. Good old Moose. If he knows he can beat you once, he's happy to beat you 50 times. He accidentally gave it to Trey Miguel, who was currently under the mask at the time, pranking the rest of the Rascals. So that should be an exciting match. I'm looking forward to seeing how that will play out as well. Elsewhere through the show, I really want to give a shout, as I said, to the women. I really enjoyed the no disqualification tag team match between Havok and Nevaeh against Tasha, Steelz, and Kiera, Hogan. When are we going to get the Knockouts Tag Team Championships? I think this is a clear indication. We need this brought into the show. I really enjoyed this match. I think that these would be two solid teams. They've got a good rivalry going on. It's probably maybe close at this point. I'm surprised they didn't save this match for Emergence, actually, if I'm being brutally honest. But I really enjoyed it, and I do think that all women deserve credit for what I think was a decent match between the four ladies. I did have one part of the show, I must admit, that I wasn't so keen on this week, and it had to be Locker Room Talk, unfortunately. It's not really my favourite segment in general, unfortunately, but I really am not really a fan of the Rob Van Dam direction. I have to be honest here and say with how I feel. Rob Van Dam's one of my favourites of all time, but this programme with Sami Callihan, I mean, is it's questionable at best for me at this particular moment. I'm not really a fan of the Katie Forbes direction as well. I just feel that if there's one part that you need to skip through Impact this week, for me, that would be the place. I wasn't such a fan of this segment. But overall, though, I mean, we'll go to Wrestle House. I mean, that for me, I can give an official word now what I feel of that. We've seen it for the last 3 weeks, multiple segments throughout the show this week. I think we had 3 Wrestle Houses this week. I wonder if they decided to break maybe one of the segments up and put it into 2, so it still had lengthy part of the show, but at the same time, maybe it didn't feel it was taking such a chunk of the show. I know that some people have critiqued that they felt it took too much time away from the ring, but I particularly enjoyed it. I think it was fun. I think there's good storyline direction. I love the fact that it plays so well with, like, if you watch the Jersey Shore for the UK, the Geordie Shores. I mean, I've watched both of them. I must admit, I'm kind of guilty. But I mean, Taya's perfect for that role with the, we're going to do this today, guys. It feels very scripted, but of course, Taya making it into her own. We're going to watch my greatest matches. I love the other little things that go around with the twist with the other characters, of course with Jake and Susie. I thought that was quite comical this week, and everything led to matches, which is really good. And it looks like we've got a big match as well set for next week in the Wrestle House with Kylie Rae against Taya. Taya very reluctant to have the match, and you could see as well they felt kind of reluctant to say next week, but I mean it had to be said really to build the match, and it's certainly something I'm looking forward to of night one of Emergence. So all in all, I think that Impact was a good show this week, I would say. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to bring for Emergence. It's all going in a positive direction, I feel, overall in Impact. Yeah, Emergence should be a solid show. So let's go through the shows. In fact, before I do, I mentioned I wasn't such a big fan of locker room talk this week, but there was one part of it that I absolutely loved, and it was the sponsorship. Heath for Impact. I thought was absolutely genius. I loved it. The fact that the timing was completely off. I do want to see a more serious side of Heath. I think that Heath should come in, and if he wants to do like Drew McIntyre, Drew Galloway did when he came to Impact, he needs a more serious side. He needs to really elevate and push the game on, and like I say, less of the comedy. But for this, for what it is right now, he's trying to get his foot through the door. They're trying to take probably his most successful storyline that he's had previously and make it into their own here for Impact. And I think it's fine for the time being, certainly for the next few months, till he gets his foot officially, if you want, through the door. But when he gets his foot through the door, I want to see a change in attitude from Heath. But really enjoyed this, thought it was good fun, and yeah, that for me probably was the saviour of that segment, to be brutally honest. But looking at the matches then for Emergence, let's look. We've got 5 matches next week, which I'm particularly looking forward to. And we'll talk first off about Motor City Machine Guns against the North. Arguably 2 of the 3 top tag teams currently in Impact Wrestling. And yeah, I really think that it's going to be a solid match between the 2 teams. Is it too soon for the North to win the belts back? I think it is at this particular point. I want to see Ethan Page lose it even further. I don't want to see a problem with the tag team or them breaking up or anything like that at this particular point. I think that the North is probably the best tag team in Impact right now, and I think it would be a big loss to the division if they did have a breakup anywhere down the line. But I want to see a bit more unrest amongst them. I want to see more determination. I want to see Ethan Page go completely off the deep end. I want to see how the ego acts when it's really bruised. So for me, I'm going to predict that the Motor City Machine Guns retain here. But I do think somewhere down the line, the North should have another run as the champions. I mentioned the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. I mentioned with, of course, Moose against Trey Miguel, and I think that should be an exciting match. I do expect Moose to retain, but I think it'll be more than what he bargained for. Let's say that much, because Trey is not suicide. Trey is someone that was in the main event at Slammiversary. He's definitely improving so much week in and week out, and I think that this is currently a good spot for him. I mean, it's sort of like that mid card going towards the upper card area. I think Trey kind of is okay in that spot, really, for me. He's not really the main event area yet, but Moose, I think, has got enough in his locker, should walk away the victor, and hopefully from there they will start building with him and EC3 even further. Mention EC3 there. I mean, I really enjoyed that again this week. I really like that it's a slow pace with EC3. We're not getting everything in one go. Nice slow burn. We're really getting a new bit of information every week with EC3. And Moose has clearly got the warning. Looks to be going to the direction of Bound for Glory. So I'm excited to see where that leads. And yeah, I mean, EC3 looks like he's got to destroy his past so he can concentrate on his future. But I'm loving his promo work. I'm loving the gimmick so far. long may it continue. Back to Emergence and Chris Bay, Rohit, Raju and TJP. As I said earlier, I think Chris Bay will retain. I think he's going to find a moment where Rohit is obviously going to stab him in the back. Probably will be a bit of an uncomfortable moment, but I expect Raju to take the fall so we can get TJP and Bay somewhere else further down the line. The Good Brothers are going to take on Ace and Fulton. Should be interesting, this tag team match. I probably would see that, of course, the Good Brothers aren't losing this soon into their run into Impact. Perhaps Fulton will be the guy to take the fall. I'm not sure which one is the right one to take the fall of the tag team here, because Ace Austin looks to be protected a lot of the time. Maybe Fulton, as the bigger guy, should be protected here. He's supposed to be the henchman after all. But either way, I expect the Good Brothers to come away with the victory. It's been a nice little build with these guys for the last few weeks, but I think it's time that after this, that perhaps they move on to their Bound for Glory programs and wherever that will lead to. Ace Austin really had something good going on with Trey leading to Slammiversary. Felt like that was unresolved, so I kind of want to see him go back to that, if I'm being brutally honest, as we go towards Bound for Glory. I mentioned Wrestle House, Kylie Rae against Taya. Well, I mean, Kylie Rae is the #1 contender, so it makes the most perfect sense, doesn't it, for her to actually pick up the victory here in Wrestle House. And it'll be interesting if that leads to perhaps a bit of unrest for Taya, if she picks up the loss. Will it cause more friction with her and Rosemary and the Johnny Bravo situation? It needs resolving in some format, but like I say, I've been enjoying the Wrestle House overall. I think that it's certainly the most creative thing to do away from the ring that any company has done over this period, really, I would say, because it's something different. Is it something that you're going to want going? Is it the future of wrestling? No, it's not the future of wrestling, but during a pandemic and during a time where you want to make your shows just stand out a little bit, give you something a little bit different. You've not got fans in attendance. This is a good way to break things away. Like I say, it's like a Big Brother, a Jersey Shore kind of vibe. If you do watch those programs, it's very well done for those sort of things. The comedy elements in them, overall, I think are pretty good in comparison to some wrestling shows where comedy segments can be awful. Some things are missed, but I think a lot of things with Wrestle House so far for me have been a hit. But Kylie Rae for me will pick up the victory. Let's finish off by talking about then Eddie Edwards. If he will have a title defence Emergence, like I say, I hope it's not Eric Young, but I would expect him to retain. He's only just had the belt for a short time. And then let's talk about the Knockouts Championship Ironman match. 30 minutes. I mean, honestly, couldn't it have been an hour, Impact? I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, I've had the whole show with these two. I think it's going to be a technical masterclass once again from Deonna Purrazzo. I think it's going to be the muscle from Jordynne Grace here. The styles worked really well for me at Slammiversary. I think it gives us a good opportunity here as well to make both women look strong. In 30 minutes, I think ideally I like to see 3 falls amongst it. Usually with a lot of Ironman matches, when they're 30 minutes, tend to get sometimes 5 falls, which I think is the most if you're going to do them. Anything more like 7, I think, is just overkill, and 9 falls and stuff like that. I have seen that previously as well. But for me, I'd like a solid 2-1 victory here. Have it, perhaps maybe Jordynne Grace picks up the first fall, as you'd expect. I wouldn't be surprised if there was 5 falls if Deonna Purrazzo uses like a chair or something to get 2-0 down, but to try and get that pan to get herself back to 2-2 very easily. Sometimes it's a good mindset of the match if they want to do that. And then I think if the last fall needs to come down to the last couple of minutes so we can get a real hot chase on, and if I'm going to make the prediction, I think Deonna Purrazzo will retain, and I think it makes the most interest for Jordynne Grace to be chasing for the last 2 minutes of that match. Should make it outstanding. I expect a classic. A match of the year candidate? It certainly could be. We'll have to wait and see as and when it comes around. But yeah, I'm very positive with Impact Wrestling at the moment. I think they're doing some great stuff. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below about Impact Wrestling, what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Do check out, I've got some other content as well on the channel if you're into WWE, if you're into AEW, if you're into my Q&A, go and check out my Q&A. There is stuff on there as well. I did an interview as well with Ovi Manise from the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show. That was put up yesterday as well. Mainly talking WWE, but great guy, great show. Go and check them out as well. And yeah, as I say, first time here on SCW, do subscribe. Please share with a friend. Let someone else know about the channel, and maybe together we can make it grow, which is what we'd love to do. Love to keep putting out more content. Love to keep talking more Impact as well. But that's all from me anyway. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time here on SCW. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.